Paul, the other one who wrote the Bible, right? Who wrote significant parts of the Bible, he made tents. But you want to be President General. President General.
President.
General. I forgot the song. But these are the things.
President.
Yeah, President General.
Let's talk about it.
Let's really talk the things. Let's really talk the things. Because the fact of it is, yeah, I don't think a lot of people actually like deep the fact that, yo, you don't have to earn a certain amount of money in order to obtain love. Like I said, I know guys who have gone for women specifically because the women earn more money than them.
Really?
Yeah. And they're like, bro, she got her own yard, boy. Like,
yeah.
She got her own yard. She's got her own things and whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I've got a family member and not that family member as well. I've got another family member who was dating a girl because she had things. Do you get what I'm saying? And the girl was happily dating him. They worked in the same place. She was more senior to him. Yeah. She caught a liking to him. Yeah. And they started dating. Yeah. Which goes to show you that this whole premise of, oh, how much money do you earn in order to date? It's just stupid and it's nonsensical.
No shade to the person who made that comment that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're not trying to blow up anyone's spot and whatnot, right?
Someone made a comment on social media, basically did the rounds, and they were like, oh, yeah, they wouldn't date a certain, a man who comes from a certain, tax bracket, shall we say?
If you will. Yeah, let's keep it vague. All right. So he was earning a certain tax bracket, and then all of a sudden, that is an issue because she said that she wants to live a big life, right? And because he's earning 40k, he's unable to cover that big life, because that's what I'm getting from it. He can't cover the big life. Yeah, but
what's a big life?
Is it his job to cover the big life? Or is it not? Is it not both? Does it not take two to tango?
Well, I thought relationships were partnerships.
I thought it was partnerships. I thought there were seasons. I heard that from my girl, the public speaker, and her husband.
Yeah.
She said she was talking with there's people's names that I don't know.
Megan Ashley.
No. You know that property couple.
Oh yeah. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
And who else was there? The guy with the big white teeth. My guy. Buck teeth. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I'm sorry. It's all sense. Right. So they were talking on their podcast, right? And she said, "I'm so glad that I'm around married people right now because you understand seasons." Right. And then obviously their rebuttal to that was like, "Oh, yes, seasons." And it's almost as if I feel like people that have all these grandiose ideas of what they think their marriage and relationship is going to look like, they've set these prerequisites that are not in alignment with reality and what life really looks like, and that things are a struggle and you got to get it out the mud. It's not something that just happens. So we set these expectations, and what do? We miss out on great things that could have come into our lives because of these false prerequisites.
I think it is as well. Just adjusting the camera, you guys, for those who are audibly listening.
We got it. So guys, this is how you gotta get it raw, right? We adjusting midway through the pod.
Coming like, that Chisel and them when they be shifting their camera left and right, innit?
And whilst you're talking, I'm gonna go close the door.
Yeah, do your thing, bro. Do you know what it is? I feel like one of the things that, based on the last couple episodes we did here, where we talked about like the psychology of money. Books like that make you realize that a lot of people's desire for a luxurious life is actually like based in trauma, drenched in trauma.
Drenched in it.
They grew up poor. They grew up seeing a certain, thing, not having certain luxuries and stuff like that. So they think that in order the life they want to live must be a luxurious life. Yes. So they to kind of compensate for the fact that they were poor, right? So really, you need to identify that what you're talking about and where you're speaking from is a trauma place. And even if you do acknowledge that, you need to also acknowledge the fact that having a luxurious life does not necessarily equate to that trauma being taken care of. Do you know what I mean? And I think that's one of the things that whenever I hear people talking about, oh yeah, you know, I want to live this big life, I want to live this thing. What is a big life? What, a big house, being able to travel, those kind of things. Mate, you can have a partner who works a 40k job, works for Virgin Airlines, for example, and you never have to pay for a business class flight in your life because they work that job. So it means that whenever you want to go on a trip, they can give you tickets so that you got like heavily discounted tickets and stuff like that, right? That's how I grew up. My mum works for an airline. I flew business class since I was lower than 10 years of age. So whenever I see anyone on Instagram now going, guys, look at us, we flew business class and we did it. I'm just like, this is so sad because not because I don't rate the fact that you've been able to do your thing, but it's like the fact that when you're used to something and you've done something, you don't feel the need to show it off to everybody. Do you get what I'm saying? So anytime I see these things, I just think to myself, yeah, you're new to this. You're new to this, and you think that this is a status thing. Yep. And don't get me wrong, flying first class, business class, yes, it's a status thing. But when my mum is fantastic. My mum worked a job in travel so that I could afford to be able to do those sorts of things, right? But that's a big life. But we weren't making £250,000 a year. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why when people post these things, I'm just like, your trauma's just bleeding all over the screen.
It's all over the
gaff. We can just see it, man.
We can see it everywhere. See that you're hurt. We can see that you've gone through so much when you were younger. And instead of doing the internal work to figure out, why do I behave this way? Or instead of a friend holding you by the shoulders and saying, yo,
you need to shut the hell up.
You need to shut the hell up. You're kind of embarrassing yourself right now. Instead, no disrespect to anybody, you're going on podcasts, setting these prerequisites, and you're still single. So it's like, what has that done for you?
Really and truly.
What has that done? Like,
really
we need to find meaningful relationships. That should be the foundation, what you're truly looking for, not does he make enough or does she make enough? Because I know, obviously, there were some men that are doing the exact same thing. And I get it because of the economy. Don't get me wrong. I understand. I have bills to pay. Very expensive bills to pay. I don't want to, right? So I understand that. But if you put that at the forefront, I think you miss out on a good thing. And that even leads on to what we even wanted to talk about today anyway.
Because I think one of the things that's really interesting, is you have to ask yourself, what is the cost of capitalism? And when I say the cost of capitalism, what I mean by that is that I was making mac and cheese. Ooh, we're going to a barbecue today.
Whoa. It looks fantastic.
We're going to a barbecue today, guys.
Absolutely fantastic. We got a barbecue, so
we can't wait for it. But it's one of those ones where, like, what's the cost of capitalism? I have friends who are working very, well-paid corporate jobs, but they call me and tell me that they're miserable. Or they call me and tell me that they want to get out and they want to go work in the charitable sector because they've got all the money, they've got the house, they've got the mortgage, they've got all the things. They buy up everything what they want. They have the car and then downsize the car. They have the child. They have all the things. But they're like, fam, I'm miserable as hell. So you have to think to yourself, any person that you're with that's making a substantial amount of money, there's going to be a cost to that. Whether it's going to be they're not around time-wise because they're busy, whether it's going to be emotional costs, whether it's going to be, unless they're running a business where, they're able to, exploit different resources so that they make the money for them, that's different. But I feel like we don't think about what the cost of actual capitalism is in a relationship. Do you know how many high-flying CEOs are cheating on their wives? Because, and how many high-flying CEOs are like, yo...
Do you know how many pastors are cheating on their wives?
Talk about it, bruv.
And they're right at the tippy top.
They're at the tippy
top. Good money. Top. And they're stressed.
Can you
imagine? This is what I can't imagine, bro. I can't imagine being on the clock. I'm pretty much on the clock every day, and then on Sunday I got to preach to people every week. I don't know. And then I got to do it on Wednesdays as well sometimes.
Crazy. Can you imagine?
I don't know, man.
Can you imagine keeping the faith of the congregation afloat whilst you yourself are going through all sorts of madness? Let me tell you, I've been in ministry, Let me tell you that thing. A lot... Am I going to go there? Yes, I am. A lot of sometimes what you see in ministry is very pantomimic, if that's a word. Like, it's behind the curtain, madness. Absolute... catastrophic madness. You then close the curtain in front of the curtain. Hey guys, Jesus loves us. Come on. And it's just madness. It's crazy. So I just think when we hear those grandiose statements of, you know, I want my man to earn a certain amount of money. Listen, what is a good quality of life? She said she wants to live a big life. What does that mean? What is a high quality of life? Is that the experiences themselves, or is it just because it has a higher price tag to it? Do you get what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. A lot of the times when you get around your people and you have good quality community time, you can be, it doesn't matter where you are. So long as you're around the right person, that is what should trump everything. Yep. Sometimes I've been on some luxury holidays or some holidays where I'm like, this ain't slapping like if I was to be with my people, in a like a real, like a good experience. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
you go on a city holiday.
That would bang even more than all of this, like,
you know, resort
being
holiday.
Bro.
It's the environment and the people that matter.
Remember when we went to Jamaica? We had butler service, I found that a little bit uncomfortable. I'll be honest with you. I found that a tad uncomfortable.
A little bit,
I kind of felt like it was my own people serving me. And I'm like, listen, you two look like my uncles. What are you doing serving me? That is ridiculous.
The one that makes me uncomfortable is when I see like the old aunties cleaning. I'm like,
I hate that.
That one is too much for me.
I hate that.
That's too much for me. I can't do that.
And are we saying that those people at the end of the day are providing a service and they have families to feed? Yeah. Who are we to say, oh, they're not living a big life?
Right?
They're not worthy of love because they're not living a big life. Are you sick? Some of you lot are sick. Some of you lot lost your minds.
I think.
I don't know if it's Shally. Who's not Shally Pop? What's the one? Hush Puppy. I don't know who it is that you lot are listening to. They've got your mind gone crazy, man.
I think people are so far removed from reality, right? It's
very much so.
When you are consuming things that are not conducive, they don't work well for the mind. And you absorb it. Now all of a sudden you think that must be my reality. Yes. That's why a lot of people resort to crime as well. And let me tell you this, yeah. Crime is not what you think it looks like. You may think somebody is doing bank robbery. That's crime. Do you know what's also crime as well? No shade to anyone. When you're a Christian, you're asking people to pay for your marriage, bruv. That's crime. That's crime. That is a crime. You're scamming people. I'm telling you, bro. And honestly, I don't think people do that out of malice, right? And I'm just using that as an example. I don't think people do that out of malice. I think that they're so far removed from real life. They'll do these things. They'll action these these requests. And all of a sudden, they're scamming the people that believe in them. Scamming the people that like them, that follow them.
So another thing as well, because when it comes to the class, because there's a classism even within Christianity and religion, which is really interesting to observe, whereby you kind of have this thing whereby, you know, the person who kind of is the most marketable or has the most qualifications, I'm talking like in the marketplace, they are usually in some way equated in the church to being someone who has more anointing or who has more capability of being minister. They're a blessing, right? So, and this is one of the things that I wanted to even mention, because I think in society there seems to be this thing of, especially I'm talking specifically about like, you know, church spaces, there's this thing of kind of accolades equals anointing, and that is that I couldn't see something further from the truth. Like if you deep it, all right, let's call said girl who said what she said about I want to live a big life and whatever, was it not let me just go there, man. I'm sure I even saw there was a podcast that one said person had done where they had Sierra on there. Sierra was now coming to do ministerial discussion of, oh yeah, husband, this is Jesus, God, all of these things. Bloody hell, mate, Jesus was a carpenter.
Do you know like that, man?
Jesus was a carpenter, yo. Like Jesus actually took wood and put things together. And Paul, the other one who wrote the Bible, right? Who wrote significant parts of the Bible, he made tents. But you want to be President General. President General! General! I forgot the song. But these are the things. President General! There was one of those that I saw on TikTok where the girl was like, The caption was, "Oh, let me chat to him. I know him. I can stop him from being angry. I can calm him down. I know him. President, stop it. Okay. President General. Listen, some of you want these prolific titles and you want these prolific job roles and whatever, yeah? Or you want to be partnered with someone who has said things. When you're Lord and Savior, this is why some of you, they say if Jesus was to come back, some of you wouldn't even recognize him or whatever. Because he did not look like President General. He was an average brother when it came to his work and what he did, blue collar work.
I can tell you what the problem is, though.
Go on.
I can tell you it's sexy PR.
Ooh.
That's what it is. Sexy PR, right? Okay, so you know what I do for work. I work in IT, right? But like the company that I work for right now is not as sexy as the previous workplaces. Okay. Think about it, right? I used to work at a podcast company, right?
Yes.
At that time, at the height of it, sexy.
That was sexy.
Right? I used to work in fintech, right? Sexy, right? Money. Do you know what I mean?
Rocket space. Rocket in the office.
I used to work in an e-com firm as well. Sexy. I used to work in an investment bank. Sexy
industries.
Right? But whereas where I work now is not as sexy. So I would understand if somebody said, like, if me, I would never even mention where I work because I don't want to, right? But like, let's say that somebody asks, "Oh, what do you do for work?" I'll say, "Oh, I work in IT," right? But I wouldn't really mention the company because there's nothing really sexy. Let's say if I was moving to like a chauvinistic babe, right? How can I mention that? It's not really gonna impress her, especially like when she has a set criteria, and I don't meet that criteria. You know?
Yeah.
So it's like it's not sexy enough, bro. But the sexy PR has hindered people's vision, right? It's hindered their thought process because if it's not sexy enough, then you are not desirable enough. You cannot be desired. You're not even important to society.
No.
You can't, bro. I can't do a career TikTok. I can't talk about my career. I can't do a day in the life. I can't do that. It's not sexy. I'm not gonna get called up to do panel talks. It's not sexy.
You're not gonna.
It's not sexy.
You're not gonna be able to post on LinkedIn that you was at the panel talk and you was discussing this with this and so and rubbing shoulders with the elite of society. This is the issue, right? Let me tell you something. I was speaking to one of my boys and they work in a corporate space. And one of the things that we were talking about is really the only sexy role is that of a shareholder. Yes. If you are a shareholder, then you have the sexiest role because guess what? You invested in a company and no matter the rank of the person in that company, whether they're MD or whether they're associate or analyst, they work for you. Okay? They work for you, man. So even if you're managing director, I'm global director, head of diversity director, head of engagement, regardless
customer success,
customer success manager. Oh yes, head of legal, MD, managing director of President General Society,
of the chief operating officer of Mount Everest,
highest peak above the solar plexus,
president of the universe,
of Everest. Evangelical ministries of the galaxy of the universe, yeah. No matter where you are in that list, yeah. No matter where you are in that list, you a worker, man.
You a worker.
You a worker, man.
You can get sacked, and that's what I was saying earlier. Yes. I have friends, high earners, they have been made redundant this year.
Yes.
Does it take away from them, from who they are? Right? We have to.
This is the problem. This is the problem when you start equating people's value based on how much they earn, and how this relates to even one of the topics that we wanted to talk about today in terms of blue collar work and white collar work and stuff like that. Right? One of the things that I think is evident. It's society, it happens in churches, happens all over society, is that, again, the higher rank you are is where we will place you. Do you know what? I know particular people who have chosen to give themselves to particular platforms because that person was popular and not because necessarily that person was the most befitting of the thing. So popularity really thrives, especially in churches. Oh, we love a popularity contest. We love it. Oh, what, you have 100k followers? We want to exploit you, man. Let's exploit you. But the person who sits at the back of the church... celebrity.
Here's a section.
Oh, here's a section in the church for you, my boy. Here you go, my boy. Right here for you.
Yes, we are talking about you.
Yes, we are talking about you. And yes, you know exactly who you are. And you know exactly what church we're referring to. There is a section here for you. Whereas the people who have come, who have done, maybe that person has given to the homeless that week in the secret place. Maybe that person has done a Bible study for certain people.
Or volunteers at the kitchen.
Or volunteers at the kitchen, whatever. Homeless kitchen, all these things. Because they don't have the popularity... What did you say, kitchen?
I said kitchen soup.
Kitchen soup, kitchen. Kitchen soup. Yeah, but it's fine, man. It's fine.
I love it.
Trust me. If they haven't, because they haven't got the platform, or because they don't have the followers, no, you're not. No, you're not allowed in. You're not allowed in.
Everything is a status symbol now.
If I just refer to the old scriptures.
I'll get it out.
Let's get it.
We'll have a look.
We'll have a look. Yeah. I think it's called the sin of partiality.
Oh my gosh.
I think firstly Romans 2:11, for God shows no partiality. Job 13:10, he will surely rebuke you if in secret you show partiality. Right? The Bible talks about the esteemed man being, if you esteem someone above someone else, basically. And it basically talks about if someone comes in with very fine clothing and you sit them at the head of the table, but you've got someone else who doesn't show fine clothing, then and you seat them at like the least of the table, essentially, paraphrasing, that you are exhibiting the sin of partiality.
Yep.
And that's one of the things that I think some of you Christians, some of you quasi-Christians, some of you people who grew up Christian, so you still think you're Christian, but you actually ain't. Like, you need to get into your head that the sin of partiality is a thing. And where else more do you see partiality? Social media, popularity contests, places where other people are esteemed above other people. That, my friends, is not biblical. As much as you might think it's God's favor shining on that person because, oh my God, look at them and what they've achieved out there. It must be God. It's not always the case. Some of them have scammed. Some of them have lied. Some of them, like I said, in the pantomime of church, have done things behind curtains and then presented to you a completely different thing. And you are there just eating it up because you have no discernment and you're not able to get a sense of this. I know we're kind of jumping between
We're jumping in and out, but it's making sense.
But it's hopefully it's all making sense. The sin of partiality, you shouldn't be showing favor to one person because they have more money, esteem, or because they have more popularity than someone else. That just shouldn't be the case.
And I want to break it down as well for those people. If you're not Christian, I want to break it down for something that we can all understand, right? You are not a lover boy. You are not a lover girl. You just have these prerequisites. You want an image that you want to recreate in your life. Because do you know what it is to love? Love is a sacrifice.
Talk about it.
So if you can't make a sacrifice for somebody in that moment and you believe that we're meant to be together, right? But because he doesn't earn a certain amount, and vice versa as well. This isn't just the woman being in a financially, economically better position. It can be the other way around. I think if you're unwilling to make sacrifices for people, you're not who you say you think you are.
Wow.
You're not the lover boy. You're not the lover girl. Ooh. Your love is conditioned. It's conditioned.
So you're saying they're playing the R&B slow jams for no reason? It's just a figure in their mind.
No, do you know what it is? They just want to be the character in the music video. That's what they want to do. They want to. They listen to LL Cool J "Love You Better" and they want to be the girl that LL Cool J picks up in the Ferrari. They want to be that. And opposite as well. Don't get me wrong. Even the man them as well. They want to be able to play that role and they want to buy the gifts. Right, and they want to want to take her on holiday, and they want to impregnate her as well, and have the kids and make the image look great. But do you know the work that comes from that? Do you know the sacrifice that comes to even make that a reality? Right? Do you know the emotional vulnerability that is required for that? You don't get to that point if the prerequisite is he's got to earn 40,000. She's got to earn this. No. Okay. Let me start that again. He's got to earn 40,000 or she must cook. right? She must learn how to cook. Or if she doesn't now, she can't make my favorite meals, right? It's just not going to bang. All these things can be learned, you know. If you want to make more money, it's possible for you to work your way up that if that's what you both want. If he or she cannot cook, you can learn, right? I learned how to cook when I was 26 when I had to move out of my parents' house, right? That's when I really learned how to cook. I taught myself. It wasn't a matter of, well, I don't know how to. I didn't have a choice. What do you think I'm going to do? Do Uber Eats every single day? I just don't think people don't want to give people the chance to grow.
I think that's the...
We're not allowed to publicly grow in front of other people. Instead, we must be the finished package now. We're doing a disservice to our emotions, to our love, the things that we yearn.
And not Nagosso. You can't... Nothing. Sorry, the patter's coming out there. Bring it out. Not Nagosso. Yeah. Because Yoruba boy.
No. I wasn't even gonna do the Yoruba this thing. But what instead? I was gonna mention. I was like, obviously you know, with 2023, I was broke. Warehouse works of no decision of my own. It's not that I chose to. I got made redundant. I had my savings. I lived through my savings because I couldn't get any work. And now all of a sudden I'm working at Amazon. But I remember the first day that I worked at Amazon. It was Carnival that day. Remember?
Wow.
You lot called me. You were like, I thought Carnival.
Yeah. Was that your first day?
That was my first day.
Crazy.
That was my first day. I will never forget that.
You see?
My first day, my trousers are dusty. And in that moment, before you even
I was so gassed when you turned up, man. I was
actually so happy that I came
so
as well.
gassed.
But like, the day that you called me, bro, it was... No, before you called me, I was sat there at the train station, just really taking in my reality, right? And you know this pompous attitude that we talk about, right? When it comes to blue-collar work, I had that. So... Anybody that thinks that we're just saying these things and we haven't experienced it, I've experienced it. I've been there. I thought I was better than everybody because I have worked in corporate for over a decade, and I have all this experience, and I've worked in all these different institutions. I thought I was better than them, but I needed a job at that time. I needed a job. Does that make me less desirable? No? Like, why should it? A job is a job. I know somebody. I can't say it on mic, right? Yeah, a friend of ours that got married, right? I remember, and she's in obviously my friend as well, innit? Because I remember we were talking about just work in general, and then I told her I'm working warehouse, right? So when was it? I think it was just before she got married. A couple months before she got married, yeah. She's like, yeah, you know my fiance, like when we bought our place here, he was working in Ocado because he lost his job.
Yeah, he lost his job. What's he gonna do?
Ocado. He's working at Ocado next to me. Where, not at the same time, but Ocado was next to Amazon. That's where he was working. A job is a job. Yes, he's worked corporate. Yes, he's done everything that we've all done. But when the bills have to get paid, the bills have to get paid.
Money have to make.
What's she gonna do? She's gonna say, babe, we can't get married anymore. Like, you ain't even earning the money they were supposed to. Like, people don't want struggle. People don't want to. They don't want to love unconditionally.
Talk on it. Yeah. They don't want to love unconditionally. And even with that being said, yeah, this is why I say it goes back to this whole pantomime thing, because there's a big part of there's big part of this thing where it's like, you know, we're all trying to work, we're all trying to make ends meet, but we have this thing where we feel like because our lives are so public, we need to kind of perform in front of other people. So we have to be almost like inauthentic in that. So it's like we'll be performing in front of other people. It's like, okay, cool. We have to show that we have all this money. We have to show we have all these accolades. We have to show that we have all of this achievement. But behind the scenes, the way that we're making things work, even when it comes to weddings, like you might have a really expensive wedding. You might have all of these different things where, you know, you want to show people a certain level. But then behind the scenes, we're not talking about what it actually means to maintain that sort of show for people.
Come on, man. Keeping the recording going.
Keeping the recording going, boy. To keep the recording going, fam. And I feel like also one of the things that I think is really, really interesting, especially when it comes to like blue collar work and white collar work, is that blue collar work, you would think that because these men don't make the most money, because let's keep it a buck, like blue collar work is severely underpaid. Severely underpaid.
Inhumane working conditions.
Yes, inhumane working conditions, difficult work, early rising, all of that, right? But these men are making decent like living. They have a partner, they have their wives, they have their children, they have their living conditions. And all right, cool. They might not be the greatest living conditions, but they're still earning a living. And I think it's about, do we value esteemed work and kind of like, like esteemed work and like a certain level of, okay, you need to be like MD or whatever versus someone who's making an honest
sexy
living.
PR.
Yeah, it's sexy PR.
Do you think I could go to any networking events and just say that?
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm a bricklayer.
Bricklayers make bread sometimes.
Mate, Jesus was a carpenter. Yeah. Like I keep saying it. Like Jesus actually was a blue collar worker.
Yep.
And yet you lot come to worship him every Sunday.
Yep.
So for me, I'm kind of like, how have we gotten to a place where we're almost moving beyond reality?
Yep.
Where we're like seeing maybe a social media life, or maybe you're seeing celebrities with NFL players or whatever, and you think that is a reality you can tap into. My dear, please face your environment and face your front. Do you know what I mean? Like, make it make sense.
Alright, boom.
Alright.
So we could have
just done that with the last one.
Oh, okay, whatever.
So basically, it's like one of them ones where I'm thinking, is it that you just want like someone that's esteemed because of his position and he's MD and all of this? But then the bricklayer's making his bread, man.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? The bricklayer's making his bread. He's making an honest living. Let me tell you this. Yeah, I remember once. Remember when I went Paris to do that warehouse work. Yeah. So I was working in a warehouse. Yeah. There was this guy. Anyway, shout out my guy Mel. Yeah. Mel was one of the warehouse operatives. So I went there to try and learn French because I was doing French at A level.
So that's why you did your work experience?
Yeah. So I was like, oh,
I went all the way to Paris.
I went to Paris.
This guy's going to do the most, man. Just work.
Oh, the most. I was like, I want to learn this French. Anyway, I went to the warehouse thing now, yeah. It's my mom's friend's company, so I'm working there. Mel is one of us, the warehouse guys, shifting things around boxes and whatever. And then you've got the office lot who deal with like the high net worth clients who are paying for all of this stuff. Yeah, was he not cheating one of the things in the office? Yeah. And I won't even. I was about to mention the name. Let me not mention the name. She works in the office, bro. She's like educated. She's got makes way more money than Mel.
Yeah.
Mel's on like,
yeah,
not minimum wage. I don't know what the French minimum wage is, but he was on a certain amount.
Yeah.
They were doing a thing.
They're doing a thing. Yeah.
And I saw that happen quite a bit. So that's why I'm saying, let's look at, what's that show? What's the show? Shotters, not Shotters. What's the one on Netflix? With Summer House.
Oh, Top Boy.
Yeah, what was it?
Shotters.
With Top Boy, yeah. Deshane, Sully. Remember one of them? One of them drew. I know it because I did an acting class and we had to do that scene. One of them drew like a middle class girl.
Oh, that was Jamie.
Right,
Jamie.
I had to do it in an acting scene once. Yeah, Jamie drew my girl.
Yeah, the middle girl. She was the one that was. She was the one that's supplying the drugs.
Right. Completely different money. But I'm telling you, there's something that these women that make this amount of money, sometimes they want a bit of...
Yeah.
Tell me? Let me not finish that sentence.
Working class.
They like working class.
They like it.
They like the working class.
Rough around the edges.
You get what I'm saying? So you can't always equate that, because they make this amount of money, that it must mean therefore that. But it might be a cultural thing.
How do you want... If you ever decide to have children, how do you want your children... How do you want their outlook to be on life?
In terms of
career, when it comes to just life in general, like what does that look like for you as a parent? Because I'd like to listen. My parents come from humble beginnings. Post lady for most of my mum's, when she was looking after us, like she was a post lady. My dad worked a number of jobs. He was a parking attendant and then eventually a policeman.
Right.
Retired now. So
honest work,
right? And that paid the bills, by the way. Not even just paid the bills. That paid the mortgage off.
So,
bro.
all right, so hear this here. Just before I answer that question, yeah, do you think the reason why people are saying these things is because of the inflation situation? Then?
Yes,
it must be.
It has to be because, bro, remember where our school was? The road where our school was. There was taxis there, people that were like cleaners and whatnot, and these big F-off yards, these Tudor homes. They're still there. Detached as well. Yep. No semis. Yep. Detached homes that they still own, right? And it was honest work. Inflation is kicking our ass so much. We're like, well, I need to make sure that I'm, VP or SVP at Canary Wharf, right? That I can't even afford to get to because I don't make enough money, right? Because the travel, of course, is too much. And I just bought a home in Rochester in Kent. And so the travel costs too much. I'm spending like £800 a month.
Listen, let me tell you, some anyway, some of you lot, you have friends that work in Canary Wharf and maybe they live in the surrounding areas. They're bumping that DLR to get to work.
Oh, absolutely.
Even though they're in the office, the glass tower. They're bumping that thing.
I'm an advocate for bump it.
TFL.
Let me not criminalize myself.
Beep.
But bump it, not me though.
No,
I pay for everything.
Never that. Because I think yeah, we pay for everything. I just think in terms of the classism thing, I get it because everyone wants you want to be at the top because you want to make the most money and inflation's kicking everyone's backside, so everybody wants to have someone who can basically what it is if you hear a woman say, I want a guy with this salary, basically what she's saying is that I'm scared of suffering in this life.
Yes.
So having someone with that amount of money is going to
come and
absolve me from having any of life's hardships. Whereas
I'm gonna go mad. They uphold patriarchy, They uphold it. The thing that they hate, right? Which I understand, but they uphold it because of the benefits that come from it. Yeah. Right? Like look at us, Look at all our brethren. Even my boy that's here right now, right? We all have the idea that because we're men, right? Yeah. We must uphold the house. We must look after everything. And I'm not taking anything away. Like there's a pride that comes and there's a sense of achievement that comes from doing that. Yeah. Being able to fulfill your responsibilities. But also deep down we know that it's killing us. All the pressure on us as the man. We gotta uphold everything. But if we say we need help from our partners, it's like, well then you just don't make enough. What? And now all of a sudden, and that's what, and then because of the blue collar jobs that a lot of people are doing, right? That's not desirable. That doesn't look sexy enough. It's not. I can't tell my friends about you.
Yeah, imagine you go to all these illustrious dinner parties and people's celebrations and whatever, and it's like, oh, this is my husband. Oh, okay, cool. What does he do?
What does he do?
Oh, I work. I'm a steel manufacturer. I'm a warehouse operative.
Yeah. Forklift.
I'm a forklift. I'm a unit. I've got a class 1. I'm a lorry driver.
Do you know what I mean?
Then, man, let me tell you about one of my boys. Yeah, he's a lorry driver. Man was on a good 65 a year from lorry driving alone. Yeah, and that's
his hours must be crazy.
Do you know what it was? His hours. He did a lot of overtime, but do you know what he did? He did a lot of international trips. Yeah. And when you do they call Swiss trips, where they go to Switzerland and Europe and deliver stuff, right? When you do those Swiss trips, you automatically get overtime, even if the work itself is actually very minimal. Yeah. So they might go to Switzerland and do a delivery of let's say 2 paintings for a week. Yeah. So you've got all that overtime for a week, but you're basically chilling because you only have to do 2 deliveries. So it kind of makes up in that way. Yeah. But he was on 65 as a lorry driver. There's certain men that are project managers ain't even on that, not even that on kind of money.
Not even on that.
And Matt made a good point. One of our mates made a good point where a lot of the tertiary sector, aka the white collar work, a lot of it is just fabricated thinking. It's not actually real work.
You lot at McKinsey, you just make PowerPoint presentations
and then bill them millions for this is how your company is going to look in 6 months because we're coming and we're McKinsey and Co. We're Bain and Company and we're telling you strategically this is where your company is going to go. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's a scam, I swear to you.
It's all thinking, it's all been made up and it's all got a high price. Whereas the actual men who know how to forklift, they know how to shift steel, they know how to cut wood. You should have seen me in there when I was doing that warehouse job, bro. If you saw me, I felt sorry for me, bro, because these men have been doing that kind of work for time, innit? And then on the side, they might do security and whatever.
Yeah.
Here's me with my little Microsoft Excel hands trying to cut wood and do all of it. Oh, what's this? Like, you know, man, I dropped D&T in year 8, bro. Year 9 or whatever. Yeah. These men are like, oh, you gotta cut the wood. I'm like looking, I'm thinking, brother, like, do you know what I'm saying? I don't know what the flip I'm doing. I'm like, yeah. But I tell you, growing up and being this kind of like, you know, tertiary sector educated guy, it's not the best, man. Also, it's kind of feminine. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of feminine. Like, if you were to feel like if you were to be around some real brothers, yeah.
Come warehouse.
Go bro. Warehouse.
When I was come warehouse. Go warehouse, bruv. When I was in Amazon, yeah, lifting up these 20, 30 kg boxes I have to put over my head, right? And it's not even that it's heavy.
The steel shoes.
Yeah, the steel shoes on, bruv. They were bucking up my feet. Right? I'm lifting it up above my head, and it's not that it's heavy. It's not that it's heavy. It's that it's awkward and that it's wide.
Yeah.
I've got to find a way to lift it up and put it on the cage to get ready for the delivery driver. I did that 6 hours straight,
brother.
6 hours straight.
I remember I told. You know my boy that says that's a lorry driver, yeah? I remember I told him that we do like, at my old job, we used to do like diversity and inclusion meetings, and he was like, what? It's like, what the is that? Yeah, I was like, bro, it's where we talk about like how everyone's included, and he was like, mate, I would get fired day one. And he was like, I was telling him about, you know, all the different streams of the diversity that there are, yeah? And he was like, wait, so you mean there are people who come in who are men dressed as women?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, and we can't say nothing. And he's like, mate, I'll get fired. He was like, brother, I'll get fired straight off. Because he'd be like, bruv, you got a penis, but you're talking to me. That's what he said. That's what he said. Shout out Warwick, man. That's my guy. But I'm saying it because, do you know what I mean? It's all, it's not tangible work.
It's
not tangible work.
And it's a facade is what it is.
It gets you a good house.
It'll get you a good house.
It'll get you a new build.
Yeah.
It'll get you
But all I'm trying to say, status. I think the point that we're trying to get to is that these labels that we've put on each other and these expectations that we set on each other is meaningless because it's what's the word that I'm looking for? You know when it just disappears?
Dissipates.
Dissipates and then it dies.
Why like the wind, like the wind,
like the wind.
Like it's like I know what you're trying to say. It's
fleeting.
Fleeting.
It's fleeting.
Coming like Shakespeare. Fleeting. Yeah.
It's all fleeting. It doesn't really mean much. And when we set those expectations for those people, like the girl that was, 35 and still single, right? When you set those expectations, I hope to God, by God's grace, that you find somebody, right? Oh! I hope the mic didn't catch that. Basically, our friend said something, but if it makes it to the recording, it makes it. Whatever.
Whoa. Whoa, yeah.
But like because there's a lot of people in that position, right? I hope people are able to work on their internal struggles and the trauma that they've gone through and realize that doesn't mean anything because you can gain and you can lose it. Yeah. What does that make you then?
Yeah.
And that's the point that I really want to get across to people. Like, all this money that we're trying to earn, right? It's not going to come with us when we die. It doesn't. You can make it. You can lose it. What does it actually mean? These titles, bro, you see at McKinsey, you know that they're doing redundancies.
Are they?
At McKinsey. They're doing redundancies.
Mad.
So all these guys that work in the consulting, I've worked at a consultancy firm before. I see people get fired. I see people get made redundant. It happens. And there were people right now, very well-educated people who've got their undergrad, their masters, their PhD, can't find work right now. Can't find work. All I'm trying to say is that we are all cogs in the system, and we shouldn't put labels on one another just because we don't earn a certain amount, right? It can change just like that. I am somebody, again, obviously you guys know me to be vulnerable, but I'm not gonna say all of it. There was a time in my life where I was on really good money, and then it just went just like that. Just like that. I even remember it, bro. my 30th, right? We're all having a great time, enjoying ourselves, right? A month later, I don't have a job. I don't have a job.
That happened to quite a few people.
Yeah.
You know? Where that actually happened to quite a few people, where it's either they got married and then they lost their job, or they became 30 and then like immediately after they lost their job. I know quite a few people that happened to. And that's back to your point about unconditional love, is if you're with somebody and they only care for you because you make 120k or 150k, that's great. That's good. Don't get me wrong. That's great. But what happens if that money dwindles? Like, what happened? Isn't it for richer, for poorer?
Do you know what I'm saying?
But then I've seen videos where people are like, nah, I'm going to say for richer. I'm not going to say for richer, for all of that. I think the one thing I'd want people to take away from this, is that the main thing is that you're, especially for those in spaces where, you know, you're kind of maybe grew up like in a trauma situation. Don't get me wrong, get your money, go after it, grab it, all of that money, we need it. But a good quality of life isn't necessarily akin to the price tag that you put on said thing. Do you know what I'm saying? I can go on a very nice trip abroad, have the best time, and it could cost me all $1,000 for that whole trip. Look how many people go, and I know Ibiza is expensive, but look how many people go Benidorm and all of that. Bro, you think they're not having a whale... I'm not going Benidorm, I'm not going to lie. But you think they're not having a whale of a time in Benidorm or something like that compared to, I went to Dubai or I went to... Don't get me wrong, Dubai is lit. But do you get what I'm trying to say? I think the one thing I would want people to take away from this is, guys, if you're 35 and you're single and you're complaining that someone has a 40k job, I think you need to do some internal work. I think you need to look at yourself and you need to say, yo, if I have not been able to find it yet at 35, why do I think that in 10 years' time I'm going to suddenly be able to find it? I'm not coming for no one, you know. I'm not even trying to...
100%. But definitely not coming at anybody, because...
Genuinely.
I think anybody that's able to be vulnerable about, you know, the things that concern them, I think you're actually quite brave.
And also, go for what you want. If you don't want someone who earns 40k, you're more than entitled to do that. Go for that. Go for that. But the reason why you're going for it, just be careful, man. Because I just think... money comes and goes. You have your peaks, you have your troughs. That's in any society, no matter what it is. And if you're working for any company, if your man is not a shareholder, if your wife is not a shareholder, then they are subject to redundancy or being fired. Even CEOs, they change hands frequently. Like, unless you're the shareholder. What happened at my place? I know what happened. Yeah, your company, CEOs change hands. They change jobs. Like, unless you're a shareholder who is invested into a company and you're just reaping the benefit of whatever that company does in terms of your dividends, then ultimately you are a worker and you are subject to potentially being made redundant at some point, whether it's now or in the future. So why would you base your romantic love based on that?
And also, don't allow people like Hush Puppy to hypnotize you, because eventually you get caught. Okay? When you make your money in a fraudulent manner, you will get caught.
Even some of these musician artists, like a lot of them are broke, you know. Like
it's a finesse.
You don't think that is because the lifestyle they're presenting. A lot of them are broke.
I used to work slyly. I used to work in the industry.
Yeah,
right?
you did.
I have seen some stuff, mate. These people are broke,
They're broke, man.
They're faking their numbers. So don't believe the fact that they've got like a Cartier on their wrist. They bought that from Walthamstow Market. Okay, right?
Or it's a rental.
And
also, you have to remember, these brands, they partner with these celebrities for the audience engagement. So whenever you see them wearing something or they're driving something, it's because that brand, it's just like a big brand deal like you would on TikTok or whatever. It's like that brand just wants to show off their car to more people. So they partner with them. It's not that they have the liquid asset to actually purchase said thing. Yeah. Also, you know, one day, do you know what we need to do? We need to talk numbers, you know, one day about even the music industry and this stuff. I know we're kind of going a little bit off topic, but there's method to it, to the madness, basically, because I'm thinking, you know, there's a lot of things that, especially us as consumers, if you're not a business owner, right, that you see as an asset that isn't actually an asset. So like someone buys a new car, you think, wow, they got bare money. That thing's depreciating over time. That's a depreciating asset. It's it's a depreciated asset. It's not a liability, but it kind of is a liability at the same time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get into that.
We'll get there.
That's my banking hat coming in there.
We'll get there.
Alas, anyway, guys.
Sorry, guys. Short one.
This is a shorter one than usual because we got a barbecue.
Barbecue to go.
We're gonna go have fun. But yeah, listen. Check in. Let us know what you thought.
Yes, please.
Comments in the YouTube and all of them.
All of that.
Follow us on social media.
Yep.
At The Point Podcast on everywhere except for TikTok, The Point, and share it with a friend. And we'll be back next week.
Next week's episode should actually be good, you know.
Yes,
it's our first guest since we came back as well.
It is.
Yeah,
it is indeed. That one I'm looking forward to very much so.
Yeah,
but yeah, we'll be back, guys.
The week after as well. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, we got another guest, isn't it?
Yeah, the week after. We got some good episodes coming up.
We're reeling them in.
But yeah,
thank
you so much, guys. Really appreciate it as usual.
See you guys soon.
See you soon.
Peace.